Hey everyone, what I'd like to do in this video is show you the HD video converter box. Fancy. It's not fancy. This is a generic product, which means that there's thousands of these things being made and they will be sold by different sellers under different names in different places. Amazon, eBay, AliExpress, etc. So I'm going to go vlog style in this one, grab the camera and just show you the setup to give you a better understanding of what the hell is going on here. I can't move the converter box from here because it's plugged into the PlayStation 3. The power cable's quite short as well. But yeah, I'm going to show you this, and if you find the exact same unit, I will link to the Amazon page, showing you the item that I bought. But if you see the exact same unit and it's a cheaper price, then it should be the same one. So what this does is change a component signal to an HDMI signal. Now there's a lot of reasons why you would want to do that. You might want to connect old devices, perhaps even like a VHS video or something like that, or an old DVD player. You may want to connect something like that to a modern television and get it in an HDMI using an HDMI cable. Certainly from a gaming perspective, the PlayStation 2 didn't come with an HDMI output, so you can use this to convert a component signal to the HDMI signal and plug a PlayStation 2 into your modern television. What I'm using it for right now is to connect my PlayStation 3, which is in the background here. I've also got my Nintendo Wii U connected, and what I'll do later is I'll switch the component cables from the PlayStation 3 to the Nintendo Wii U just to show you, that it works with both. Now, when I first got this, I kind of mentioned in another video that I wanted to spend some time getting to know it. I wanted to troubleshoot it. I wanted to do lots of streams to see how it works and what it can do, what it can't do. I was going to do a game stream tonight, and there was lots of 500 internal server errors on YouTube, so I couldn't actually live stream. And during that time when I was setting it up, I noticed that the output here on my PC and in the television, it was very grainy. And I couldn't work out why there was so much noise in the signal, because I hadn't noticed it before. So I spent about an hour or two troubleshooting this. I thought it was a converter box, then I thought it was the component cables, then I thought it was my PlayStation 3 settings. But in the end, I found out that it was because I was upscaling it. So I'll talk about that in a bit, and I'll explain that in a little bit more detail. But I will say off the bat, when you get this working and when you get it working correctly, this thing does exactly as it should. It works fantastically. It really is. It really is great. I was talking about this in another video. I was looking for this perfect solution that would allow me to record from a PlayStation 2, a PlayStation 3, Nintendo Wii, Nintendo Wii U and other consoles. Without doubt, this is it. Took me some time. I bought some other products and they didn't work. I had to send them back. This setup works, and it works really well. So, very quick look at the box, and it is a very quick look because there's not really that much in it. Here you've got the device, which I'll show in a second, and there is a power cable that goes to, it's a USB connection at the other side. They throw in a USB adapter, which I'm not using because, I'll show you there, I've got a power, like a multi-adapter over there that's got USB ports, so I don't really need to use it. Disappointingly, there isn't a manual in this. Now, it is a relatively easy device to use, but at the end of the day, it should have a manual. It should have something. 4, 6, 8-page leaflet showing you plug things in here. This is how it works. This is what it cost me. It's a little bit annoying that they don't do that. I paid £40 for this one, and of course, prices do change. So in time, maybe this will be cheaper. Maybe the seller will put it in a deal. Maybe someone else will start selling it and the price will go down to £20 or £30. But I paid £39.99. Now, when I bought this was twice the price than most, as most of the other ones. But the other ones, they didn't look as well made. Now, some of the other people criticised other ones as far as that they couldn't output in 1080p. They could only output at 720p. This one here can output at 1080p, but it's upscaling it. So that is where you're going to get some noise. I've found that for me, outputting in 720p for this one, it gives you a much better signal. The 1080p signal, the upscaling side of this device, it really isn't that good. It really isn't. Now, I'm going to be, the way that I've got it connected with the OBS, I'm going to be taking in a 720p signal. So effectively, I've got the PlayStation 3 outputting at 1080p. It's coming here at 720p and I'm outputting it to here. and then I'll upscale it. And when I do it this way, it sounds a little bit backwards, but when I do it this way, I don't get any noise, don't get any graininess. When I had it set up earlier on with upscaling at 1080p, and I'll show you this in a little while, I'll show you how it works with the resolution changing. But when I set it up that way, there was noise, but there was also a lot of flickering, and the output looked terrible. It really did look terrible. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise that YouTube didn't work tonight. So let's go vlog style, and let's look at how this works. Okay, so the device right here is kind of upside down right now, but that's okay because I can show you the back here. So what you've got here is the power cable. Now this is the DC in. Now I know I've got a lot of things going on here in the desk, but it's kind of organised chaos to get all this working. So that's the power cable, this one here. That goes, if you can look down there, I've got a multi-adapter at the back there, and it's got a USB port, so that's where that's going. These are the component cables. You've got 3 video cables, green, blue, red, and then a white and red for audio. Now, it might look like you could get the red mixed up, but what you'll find, like in this one, you've got the red and white tied together. Now, my Nintendo Wii component cables, they're not tied together, but what you can do is just kind of go back and just feed it through so that you know which one goes to which one. So, you know, there is a chance you could put in the wrong one, but you just take it out and you put in the correct red one. So I'm going to try and turn this round. There we go. And you can see it's there, HD video converter, HDMI upscaler 1080p, and I forgot to turn my phone off. So you've got a headphone jack there, you've got the power link. When you remove that, that purple light goes red. You've got the HDMI output, so that's the output. And then you've got a zoom button and a switch button. And, you know, if I push it here, you can see what zoom does. It zooms in. Now, it seems like a bit of a gimmick and it seems kind of pointless doing that, but when I connected Zelda seems to be putting like a black border on the screen. So I zoomed in once or twice and it removed it, so it's actually quite good. Now the other button here is the switch button, and this will change the resolution. So as I said, I am currently using 720p, and it's there, you push it once and it says 720p at 60 Hz, and then that's full HD. Now you can't, I don't think it's going to come up really well on the camera. It probably looks fantastic now at your end, but you will notice a little bit of noise when you've got it at the full HD. Now you've got 800 by 600 now, and there's a few other resolutions now. You can see it there, 1024. It's a little bit strange for the way that it works here. It looks like the resolutions don't work. For some resolutions here, there's a few ones in the middle there, kind of smaller resolutions, but it's because of Elgato. When I've only got it connected to the television, all the resolutions change quite quickly. When you've got it with OBS and with the recorder to my PC, yeah, it seems to go a little bit funny sometimes. One thing I would say about that, as far as that information, when I change games, it always pops back up, which sometimes isn't what you want, so it's a little bit annoying. But yeah, that's all there is to it. There really isn't too much to it. Your component cables, your power, that goes to a USB port at the other side. That shows you that the output is there, because the HDMI would be red if it wasn't, and let's show you that. See it? So it's going red, and there you go, it goes purple, everything goes back up. Should come back up. Now this is the problem with doing things live. And then you've got the zoom button and the switch button. So the signal there kind of disappeared there. So what I need to do is put it back and put the power back on. And hopefully that will power it back up. I'll fix that in a second, but yeah, that's what happens. You take the HDMI cable out and the signal disappears. Now it's not coming to television now, that's because we're messing about with it, but it's still on the computer. So I'll sort that in a bit. So going back round to the other side, just to give you a better idea of what's going on here. As I said, the cable organisation here is madness, because I've changed the setup about 3-4 different times just now. I've changed it about 3 or 4 different times tonight, and I've just kind of got it up working just so that I can test everything. But the converter here goes to the input of the Elgato HD60S. This goes to the television. So that's just for the television. I can take that out and that will still go. This is optional. When I'm streaming, I won't have this television. I'll play the game directly through the PC, but I can plug it in if I want to play from the TV. So yeah, that's all there really is to it. You've got the component cable coming from the PlayStation 3 to that. This is a component cable, and that goes to there. So when I switch over, that'll be the Nintendo Wii U component cables. But here you've got the converter, and essentially it's component. This changes it to an HDMI, and it's HDMI that goes to the Elgato. And if I want, I can send that output back to this television. As I said, there's a lot of cables there, and it looks like it's a complicated setup, but it's actually quite straightforward when you see it. So what I'm going to do is put you back up, vlog styley, and I've managed to turn the television off there. I don't know how I've done it, but I have. What I found with things like that though is if you just reset things, you take the power off, and it should be okay. So that should hopefully come back on. Or maybe not. So what I'm going to do at this point is just on the fly, and this isn't how I would normally do it, but on the fly what I'm going to do is change from the PlayStation 3 to the Nintendo Wii U. So I'm going to take these component cables out, and then I'm going to connect the component cables for the Nintendo Wii U. And now I've got Zelda on my PC. And as I said, I don't know what's going on here with the television. I was wanting to show you that. And this is another thing I can do. So this is the problem with doing it live, but this is another thing you can do. If you're recording with something like the Elgato and you've got any problems, just reset and go back through, like reset the Elgato. What I did with the Elgato there was take out the power and put it back in. And as you can see, it's back now. So you sometimes need to do with that. You wouldn't be doing that in a live stream, of course. I'm doing this for a review, but if you find any problems like that where it's not displaying, take out the power of the HD converter, take out the power of the Elgato, take it out, put it back in. It tends to reset things and everything works quite well. Now, from audio and all that will be there as well. So, as I said earlier, this one has got a kind of larger box around it, but I can zoom in. So watch this. Zoom in. So that doesn't seem to be doing much here, but on here, if I zoom in, it should change the box. No, it's not changing it. Oh, it's frozen there, that's why. I've got it frozen in that now and it's working on that. So that's because I need to change my OBS settings. You go in there, you deactivate it, and you activate it. And again, that's what I was saying before. I've now got it playing on both, and you should be able to see it moving around in both at the same time. There's a box over there with a border, and this is where I can zoom in. When I was doing it earlier on, it was working really well with the zoom. There you go, that's it there. So zooming in twice there, I have completely removed the border. And you should be able to see that now. I have completely removed the border. So I'm in Zoom 2. Zoom 3 goes in even, but the default one has got a border around the side. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the HD video converter box. This thing is, in my opinion, fantastic. Sure, it doesn't come with a manual, but this thing is so easy to use, it doesn't really matter. And yeah, it's generic. The price might scare off some people when there's cheaper alternatives, and I'm not going to put off anyone buying one of those cheaper alternatives. But for me, I'm very glad that I bought this one. It's very well made. The zoom button seems like a little bit of a gimmick, but you saw there with Zelda there that it's actually quite useful. And the ability to switch between resolutions quite easy is pretty good as well. I can switch from 720p to 1080p at the click of a button. So overall, I'm very, very pleased. I can now record games from the PlayStation 3, from the Nintendo Wii U, and even going back to older consoles like the Nintendo Wii and the Sony PlayStation 2. In fact, forgetting about recording, from a recording point of view, just looking at it from a gaming point of view, there's a lot of people buying devices like this simply to play their Sony PlayStation 2 on a modern television. All you need is a component cable for your PlayStation 2. you connect it into this box, and now you've got a PlayStation 2 that connects to a modern television using HDMI. I do think that it works better connected directly to the television. When you connect it to OBS, then of course you've got the connection issues with your PC and all that kind of stuff, but it does work. And when you've got it set up, the signal, the output is fantastic, the audio is fantastic. It's perfect, it's exactly what I was looking for. So, when you buy things like this, you've always got minor things about it that you don't like, or things that they wish that, they did differently, but this is well made. It seems like it will last the test of time. Relatively cheap, in my opinion, for what it does. And I can now tap into some classic games. And the PlayStation 3 has got so many classic games, as does the Nintendo Wii U. The PlayStation 2 has got amazing games. And the principle of what I'm doing here can be applied to older consoles as well. If I bought a different device that that can record from composite or whatever. So yeah, overall, very, very pleased. I will leave a link to the specific one that I bought, so that if that's the one you want to use, you can. So if you get any questions, please do leave a comment. I'll do my best to answer them. I'm not professing to be an expert on any of this. I have got to this stage through trial and error, through changing the resolution and changing my OBS settings and changing my PlayStation settings. But I've found that all you have to really do to get a really good signal is to just drop this down to 720p. I've left OBS at 1080p, I've left my Nintendo Wii U and my PlayStation 3 at 1080p output, and just simply going down to 720p on this one, on the actual converter box, it works perfectly. But I will say, I pointed this out earlier, when you do upscale to 1080p, you do occasionally get a little bit of grain, you do occasionally get a little bit of flickering, but you don't really need 1080p anyway, because all these older consoles generally output at 720p, so it's kind of a moot point. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Take care.